Good morning, car people. I mean, I say morning, it's barely morning. It is 4:20. I am not going to inflict face to camera on you this early. We are about to get a taxi to the airport, so just enjoying a cup of coffee outside before the taxi arrives, and we're on our way to Scotland. You guys like a road trip? So come along with me. I'll tell you where we're going. Taxi waiting. Getting on the plane, that was very painless. And we are in row one. Won't film the other people. Right, we've arrived in Bonnie, Scotland. Just a 1 hour hop up on an EasyJet flight. British Airways flight from Heathrow was 4 times the price, so we did it economy today. And it was a very easy trip. The taxi to the airport, she drove in the outside lane all the way, even though the motorway was empty. And that made my teeth itch all the way there. Lane discipline is one of those things that's a real bugbear of mine. But anyway, we're over that now. We got here really nice and quickly. In fact, we're half an hour early, so we've got a little bit of time to kill before we get to the garage and collect the car, and you'll see us there. Well, so a 2-minute walk from the terminal to the taxi rank, and the most efficient and sensible screens that were being operated by a couple of guys there in the high-vis jackets. Tapped in where we wanted to go, gave us the price, and walked over to another lady who pointed us into this taxi, and here we are. So we have a 16-minute ride, and we're off to the dealership now to pick up the car. That was also very simple, wasn't it? Okay, so taxi has dropped us off. We are now at Stuart Rodden Ferrari Specialists. Stuart used to run the Scuderia Cross racing team and was very successful with that. Looks like he's got a nice business here. He now does Mitsubishi, Citroen, Renault, Volvo, Aston Martin. But the car we've come to collect is this lovely Ferrari California. And I'm really pleased to be having it back. I sold this car to another Stuart, actually, a gentleman who owned a bagpipe factory. And it was in 2020, 2021, just as we were coming out of COVID. And he wanted to treat himself, so couldn't travel. I agreed to deliver it up to him, and you know we like a road trip. So we broke the journey up, came up via Scotch Corner and stopped somewhere just a little bit south of there. Carried on the next day and delivered it up to him, to his bagpipe factory. Had a little tour around there, which was very interesting. Didn't know how expensive bagpipes were actually, but obviously does very well to afford a Ferrari. And I recommended this little garage to him for servicing and maintenance, and he has looked after the car here ever since. It's got the most fabulous service record already from when I supplied it, and annual servicing. In fact, just had it in here for a service and a couple of new rear tyres. We're going to get on the road. We're going to make a stop somewhere in Yorkshire. We've got another hotel booked for the night, so as we're on the road I'll tell you a little bit more about the car, and we'll see if we can explore a bit of its performance on these lovely Scottish roads. Well, we've had no end of problems with this audio cutting in and out, the sat nav cutting in and over it, and the battery running low on the microphone. This YouTube lark isn't easy at all. So this is me in the studio, post-editing, overlaying what I believe I said in that clip. And I was telling you that the car is a 2011 on the 60 plate, a California 2, finished in Nero Daytona black. It's got a lovely spec, especially with these beautiful carbon back bucket seats with the yellow stitching. Car has got 33,800 miles on it as we're driving it along, so it'll be a little over 34 and a quarter by the time we get home. I actually sold this car in 2020 during COVID when people couldn't get out and about, and a gentleman from Scotland who owned a bagpipe factory, who knew, he contacted me and said he'd be interested in purchasing the car and wanted to part exchange his Bentley. So having been at home several months, it was a lovely opportunity to get out on the road. We were just coming out of COVID and hotels were beginning to open. So as we like to do a road trip, we drove up to Scotland in the Ferrari, delivered it to him, and took his Bentley in part exchange. And we'll get Zahira to put a photograph of us handing over the car outside his bagpipe factory. We got an opportunity to look around that. Very interesting business, actually. So then took his Bentley in part exchange and we went to a place called Crossbasket Castle for a nice night there before heading home and breaking up the journey somewhere down a little south of Yorkshire. These were the days before I was filming for the channel. That would have made an interesting video. And subsequently we've made a number of these now, but I'm thinking back to how many times that we've actually been to Scotland, and it's got to be approaching 20, I would say. The very first time was back in the 80s. The first time I came up to Scotland to buy a car was to buy a car from Alexander's of Edinburgh, the Ford dealer up there. I was currently racing in the Ford Fiesta Challenge, and we had two races at Scottish circuits, Knockhill and Ingliston, and I was trying to get a little bit of sponsorship for myself in those races, and I ended up buying a Sierra Cosworth from them, and I got, I want to say, £2,000 off the price of the car, and that was to go towards them sponsoring me for the two Scottish races. So that was the first time in Scotland, I seem to recall. Funny story regarding that actually was I was driving out of Scotland on the motorway and I could hear a noise from the engine, and I was concentrating on that and trying to work out where I could hear the noise, and sitting about 3,000 RPM, which was actually about 90 miles an hour, and I didn't see an unmarked police car come up alongside me, and he pulled me over and gave me a ticket for speeding, which was a bit annoying. And more annoying still, by the time I got back to almost Luton services, the alternator fell off the car, which is what was the noise that I heard occurring at the time. And talking of speeding, another time coming back, driving through the motorway as it goes into the Lake District, that lovely sweeping bends. The sun was out. We were listening to Chris de Burgh on the radio, and then the speed camera caught me on the bridge over the top of the motorway. So I need to be careful that we don't get done for speeding this time. We're actually going to go, at the moment, we're traveling across to a road that goes down to a place called Moffat. I got recommended that road. It's a lovely B road with lots of swoops and turns and goes past some lovely scenery. My friend Jonathan from the Edinburgh Watch Company recommended that road to us, and this will be now the second time that we've driven along it, and luckily no speed cameras along there, but of course I'll not be going more than 70 miles an hour. So the next port of call, I believe, will be at the Headlam Hall Hotel. So we'll see you there, and we'll then do a little bit more commentary on what we see in the car as we get there. So keep following along. Thank you.
Where are we?
This is Moffat, and the Moffat Toffee Shop is over there. We had our photo taken over there, didn't we? I'm trying to remember the name of that horrible sweetie we bought. It was just neat sugar. Right, we're motoring along now, going past the signs for Lockerbie, the scene of the disastrous Pan Am Jumbo Jet 747 air crash back in the 70s, I think it probably was. And then we're onto that lovely B road that I was talking about. Look at these lovely twists and turns. Looks like this little blue car ahead knows the road. He's going along nicely. That's quite helpful. Going across the Pennines. Looks like we're getting close to Barnard Castle now. Oh yeah, that's it over there. Yeah, the signs say it's just around here. Barnard Castle made famous in recent times because the MP Dominic Cummings came here to allegedly test his eyesight during lockdown. How he got away with that, I don't know. Yeah, it's a pretty spectacular old building, isn't it? Uh, Looking at the history of it, it dates back to Norman times and was built between 1112 and 1132. That's during the reign of William the Conqueror, so it's got some age to it. I wonder how they're keeping it from crumbling down now. So the sign says we're going to go left here, and well, this will be going over the River Tees then. So we're really only, I suppose, about half a mile from the town centre, which we won't have time to walk around. We're going straight to the hotel. So I hope you enjoyed that little view. This is us arriving at Headlam Hall then. Well, that was a short 4.5 hour journey, wasn't it? Via Peebles and Moffat, enjoying those roads and the scenery, then coming across the Pennines at the end there. Really enjoyed that drive, but now looking forward to some Yorkshire hospitality. Let's find our way into this place and go and get checked in. So the battery died just as we were pulling in the gates. Couldn't make it up. We've been up to the room, had a charge up, come out and sat on the terrace to enjoy a drink. And I thought I would just show you the car parked outside the hotel here. Lovely old building, 500 years old, built in the 16th century, extended over the years, covered in Virginia creeper, which will turn a lovely shade of red in autumn and winter. Our room is at the top here. We've got the windows open. It's a bit warm up there. So we're saying that we're in the penthouse. Yeah, the house has got some history about it. Belonged to obviously the landed gentry of the time. There's a lovely lawn over here, and over the years things have been extended. They now have a spa, a brasserie, and a 9-hole golf course. I was reading through some of the history, and I don't recognise the names of the people from 500 years ago, but in more recent times, they've had some very renowned people come and stay. Count Cinzano would have been of the Cinzano family. Count Zanon, another wealthy Italian, he had something to do with Formula One in the 70s. And at some point in the last 40 years, it belonged to the Stobart family. Stobart, of course, very famous for haulage. Eddie Stobart was the guy that everyone used to spot his lorries as they drove up and down the motorway. So I thought, anyway, let me give you a look around the car. I reminded myself actually that the car has got a sports exhaust on it, and I even have the original exhaust if anyone wants it to be put back on the car. It is rather loud. It's got PPF on the front end. The wheels are unmarked, P0 tyres all around, Scudera shields. We've got brand new tyres on the rear. Even after me driving it across those lanes, we did end up finding that road, and it was a lot of fun to drive down. I've been very careful about looking after the car. You can see it is absolutely beautiful, unmarked. The interior actually is really very smart. It's got these wonderful butter soft leather racing bucket seats, which are carbon backed, got this diamond quilted stitch, and really smart car. beautiful history. Goes really, really well. So yes, we're going to enjoy our night here and get back on the road early tomorrow morning. Typically, after a very, very quiet June, I've had 3 inquiries today, and although we were planning to get back, now I've something definitely important to get back for, so we might be able to do a few sales starting in the beginning of July. So thank you for watching up until this point, and I don't know where we'll go from here, but obviously we'll document our drive home and keep on watching. Thank you. Right, good morning everybody. That was a very pleasant evening. They looked after us here nicely. So Headlam Hall gets 5 stars from us. Mr. Robinson, the owner, was going to come and say hello, but unfortunately we've got to get off on the road this morning. Got inquiries to deal with. So look at this big boot. That's spacious. A nice touring car. Should have mentioned yesterday actually we did have the roof off a little bit, and the wind deflector in the car did its job really well, didn't it? So soft close. We're going to get on the road, get back to Stream Cars HQ. We've got a 5-hour journey ahead of us, and if there's anything interesting on the way, we'll document it. Otherwise, we'll see you back there to conclude. Right, so that sums up the video. We're safely back at Stream Cars HQ now. California performed faultlessly. Just got to get the flies washed off it and then detailed, and we'll get it put on sale. So that might even happen at the weekend, probably before this video is finally edited and out there. So I don't know what you'll end up seeing first. We had a great drive back, almost 500 miles door to door from Scotland to back home, but obviously starting from Headlam this morning, which was about a 4.5-hour journey. Nice to have a relaxing break and wake up that journey. Traffic back was tremendous. We only hit a little bit of heavy traffic once we hit Luton, and then just after that the M25. Lots of traffic going north. I'm pleased we weren't going in that direction. Obviously Silverstone Grand Prix this weekend, so that could have something to do with that potentially. But I hope you've liked my journey and my day in the life, the things that we get up to. My next video is likely to be delivering the DB9 that we've got now sold, and that will be going to have a service and delivered to the customer in Bridgewater in Somerset. So I'll make a video of that and see what we can bring you to see what I get up to during my travels. We've also got inquiries to deal with. I've got the Arbath sold, and this Jaguar here that's on the forecourt, we've had inquiries for that. So I've come back to deal with that, and things are busy. So thank you very much for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe button if you enjoy, and help me get up to the next milestone of subscribers. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much for watching.